Okay, today we'll be discussing the Elekit preamp TU-8550. As usual, the modification. So you can see here I have a lot of components ready. Some of them I purchased long time back, some I just newly acquired. But anyway, let's see the schematic first to understand what will be our key modification. I have no plan to modify a lot, so the components just like, I will say, a standard, kind of a bit better upgrades. So I might not be upgrading a lot in this, but there are a few items that I might have a big interest. First is the RIAA filter. Here you can see we are seeing a lot of numbers of capacitors. I think the idea from Elekit is to combine multiple capacitors in order to get the total closer value. Because if you buy just a single capacitors, it's hardly to get the kind of accuracy. But by combining multiple capacitors in parallel and series, you might get actual kind of closer value. So for this kind of requirement, actually I've purchased quite a number of capacitors. This is a custom Dulun, not sure if we can see it. It's a Dulun cast silver. Let me increase the brightness here a bit. It's a Dulun coherent audio cast AG silver 630. It is a 2.2 nanofarad or 0.0022 microfarad. So normally this value, see if I can focus this one. Okay. Normally this value is not available in retail, so you need to get custom order from Dulun. But yeah, sometimes this is quite the components which is very crucial. I've been trying the kind of silver capacitors in phono preamp long time back, and this is, I would say, one of the best. And I think aside from 2.2 nanofarad, you also might need to get the 0.01 microfarad as well. So again, let me try to increase the brightness here, so I hope you can see again. Same Dulun coherent audio cast AG capacitors, pure silver foil, 0.01 microfarad. So I purchased quite a number of them, basically because I need to get some kind of matching, and I trust some of my friends might have interest as well in this. So yeah, let's see how we can get these capacitors later. Let me put aside first these things, and then let's go back here. So this is gonna be like 10 nanofarad and 2.2 nanofarad. It's gonna be in the RIAA filter. And then you can see the schematic here, the phono preamp stage. We are seeing one 12AU and two 12AX. And the others might not be so complicated design. This is a power supply bypass here, and the resistor, some of it might not be very kind of complicated. The selector here, the volume, and like I shared earlier, it has volume input control and also the gain kind of a control. In the original things, they are using 1 quad or 4 gangs kind of potentiometers, so I'll be changing that as well. So I choose this. This is Amtrans switch. This is like a 23 step selector, not selector, I think, because this is should be made before break, should be for volume control. right? 2 gangs. So the idea is to control the volume, and the other 2 to control the gain. So I can have a separate adjustment for volume and for the gain. And you might be asking what kind of resistor I'll be using. Not so much. I'll be using AMRT 2 watts resistor. Right, not so much just a standard resistor. I think it should be carbon film type, not so fancy one, right? But it should work. And because the resistor will be in series, so I will add the first resistors with AudioNote silver tantalum. So it will give some coloration on the volume on the input. So I hope that's something that I like so far. So yeah, the volume control and the gain will be in series. So it will be like a normal volume control, but this time I will be using a step attenuator. So yeah, that's probably the biggest things we'll be seeing in this design. The others, probably not so much. The components, capacitors, resistors. I have made my list here. So again, as usual, I like to build this kind of to-do list. So mainly I'm using a TKD resistors. You can get like $1.50 each, and some capacitors from Mundorf, some resistor from Amtrans. Mainly I purchased from Parts Connection, and maybe some Kiwame as well here. Fise a bit in some position. You might be seeing that TKD, Riken, and some Solen, some AudioNote as well. Well, not so much fancy stuff this time, to be honest, because it might not be super kind of a big project. I'm just trying to give some short upgrades. Mainly I'm using a TKD, quite affordable, good sounding resistors, and then yeah, some filters, some other things. Not so much like I'm using some Elna capacitors. I also tried this Supertech capacitors, I think from Taiwan, and I'm using some diodes upgrade with the stealth diode as well. So that's it. This one. This is the step attenuators I'll be using for the gain and for the feedback. Gain in the volume. So it will be like a 23 resistor in series. It will create 100 kilo ohms kind of total resistance. So the first resistors about this 20k, I'll be using the AudioNote silver tantalum. So all the chain will be passing through the first resistors, which we hope that's kind of the coloration that we love so far. Yeah, and what else? Oh, the coupling capacitors. I'll be using this, another Dulun. Let me try to adjust the color, the brightness a bit here. Hope you can see it better. It's another Dulun case. CU AG is a hybrid between the copper and the silver resistors. Basically, this is just a copper capacitors, but they bypass with a silver foil. So we call it a pure copper silver foil. 0.47. As usual, this is the standard coupling value in the circuit for this TU-8550. It uses 4 capacitors, coupling capacitors, 2 for the phono and 2 for the line stage. Yeah. So we are preparing some of this kind of capacitors for our purpose here. So yeah, what else? We just take a look here on the bin. Some Kaisei here. AudioNote standard tantalum. This is the inlet Supertech NCF, one of my favorite, not expensive, sounding good. Elna Silmic. Let me try to adjust the brightness with the ISO. Okay. And some certain position, I like this Solen tinfoil. Some Mundorf, you should be quite familiar with this brand. And tube cap. Some Riken RMG. This is Supertech capacitors. I think it's from Taiwan. Quite interesting. Let me try it. And the others, you can see a lot of TKD here. Yeah, and some Shinkoh as well. I still acquire some Shinkoh here. And yeah, not so much other fancy stuff, just usual resistor here. Some Shinkoh here, some TKD, a bit of AudioNote. I know what is this, something inside. Let me see, what is this? Ah, this is the Elna for selector. Although I doubt I'll be using it because I don't have so much use of the selector, but anyway, I just purchased it. Yeah. Maybe I will have use, preamp usually we use selector, although sometimes not so much of this scenario. So what else I can have in mind? Nothing else. And I also purchased this Solen. It's a quite huge 2.2 microfarad Solen. It's 27 microfarad Solen. I plan to use this as a bypass. Originally they're using electrolytic in the schematic, but I think Solen might be a better upgrade, optional upgrade. So yeah, I think basically that's all I have. The tubes, maybe Toshiba and some others. Yeah, let's see. So this is not going to be a really big upgrade. So yeah, hope we can see some result in the next couple of months. I'm still trying to finalize my TU-8550, although I'm still waiting for the PCB and some other stuff, right? Might be delayed for a couple of weeks, but we shall start this TU-8550 after that. So I think that's all what we have, guys, today. So thank you for watching. See you again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.